Hi, it's Scott Dikkers from How to Write Funny, and this is a live video on YouTube and Facebook, Tuesday night, January 19th, 8 p.m. Central Time. I got a really interesting letter from a student that got me thinking, and I wanted to address it. So this is a guy who's been doing comedy for a while and says his wife doesn't support him doing comedy, doesn't like the comedians he likes, doesn't support him doing more than like 2 open mic nights a week. He's trying to succeed at stand-up comedy, obviously. And he said this is his biggest challenge. Like, how is this something he can overcome? So I have thoughts about that. You need support at home to do comedy. Doing comedy always starts as a hobby, as some kind of obsession. It rarely starts with you going to college and getting a degree in comedy and then sending out your resumes and having someone, a headhunter, find you and you get hired to do a comedy job and they pay you a salary. It just doesn't work that way. You're always going to be doing it for free. You're going to be learning the ropes. You're going to be paying your dues, and you're going to fail a lot. You're going to fall on your face a lot, and you're going to keep doing it because you love it. And you're going to keep coming back to it because you love it. And maybe you get a little bit of positive reinforcement. You get some laughs. You get a good night. If you're writing comedy, maybe you get a good feedback on an article you wrote. If you're making YouTube videos, maybe you get some good comments on it. And this is addictive. So now you're getting the juice. You're getting the laughs. This is what every comedian and comedy writer lives for, the positive reinforcement from the world. That's why we get into this business. We, for whatever reason, didn't get the right kind of love at home. We get it from our work. We get it from putting comedy out in the world and getting people liking it, getting people to laugh at it. It fuels us and feeds us. It's like the most powerful drug in the world. We get addicted and we keep doing it. So a lot of comedians have trouble in their personal lives. They have trouble maintaining relationships. They have trouble with depression. And the last thing you need is to have someone at home, like a spouse, not supporting your comedy. It just goes against the grain of everything you're trying to do. You're out there doing comedy because you're trying to get love. You know, this is your twisted way of getting love, is by getting it from an audience and not from another human being. But that's, it's how we're made. And if you're not getting it at home, and you're not being allowed to get it through your comedy, or you're being constrained, you're in trouble. Okay, you've got to deal with that problem. So my advice to anyone in that situation is, if there's somebody in your life who doesn't support you doing comedy, they need to be out of your life. Either that, or just give up doing comedy. Become an insurance actuary, or work at a gas station. Work in finance, sell pharmaceuticals. Comedy's not for you. But if you love comedy, if you've gotten a taste of that drug, of audience feedback, of laughs, of applause, at whatever kind of positive reaction you've gotten from your comedy, and you need more, and this is important, and you want to do this, you need to build your life around that. And you need to surround yourself with people who support you doing that, who celebrate you doing that, who totally understand your need to do that. You cannot deal with the grief of someone grumbling under their breath and saying, okay, I guess, if you really want to, that is such a drag. It's going to be so much work for you to succeed, let alone financially, but succeed at getting any kind of joy from it. If you've got this literal ball and chain hanging off of you, you need to get that person out of your life. You need to surround yourself with people who support you. Thanks for the comment, Hugh. I'm glad that I've talked about this before. Hugh's in my comedy business school class. Finally used this lesson to get toxic people out of your life. I hope that's been good for you, Hugh. you'll have to, oh, there's more. I have to hit the see more button to see more. Oh, this is always hard, the see more button. Yeah, I can't make it go. No. Sorry, Hugh, I'll have to respond to that later. I can't. I don't know why they make that button if they don't make it work. So it's hard, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be wrenching, especially when that person who's the negative person is close to you, is a significant other, is a close family member. You're going to have to play that really carefully. It's a breakup. It has to be a breakup, because there's no way you can proceed in life with that person in your life. That's great. You had a coach help you do this. Wonderful. And a shrink. Wonderful. That might be needed. If it's not a significant other, if it's not a significant family member, if it's just, a friend in your social circle, that's easier. You can just spend less time with that person and say, hey, I'm busy doing comedy. This is my life. I need to focus on this. Most people are going to get the hint. It's not going to be a big deal. But obviously breakups are awful and they're no fun and nobody wants to do that. Comedy is your thing. Comedy is your calling. Comedy is like your art. You're an artist. That actually reminds me of another thing. So that's my answer to that. It's tough. I don't envy you the position you're in at all. If this is you, so good luck. And you're going to be grateful that you did it. It's going to be painful in the short term, but it's absolutely essential in the long term to remove negative people from your life who don't believe in you, don't want you to do comedy, and surround yourself with people who support you and celebrate you, because then they lift you and it's all easier. It's just smooth sailing. But the other thing I want to talk about is comedy art. Because people ask me this a lot. Is comedy an art form? Is what you do art? And the simple short answer is no. I don't believe comedy is art. I believe comedy is a craft. And what makes good comedy is craft. When someone really knows how to do it, they know the craft, they know how to construct jokes, they know how to perform them or write them or whatever medium they're in. And doing that really well, maybe when it's done really well, it could be called art. But I just think it's a mistake, especially for a beginning comedy person, to think of comedy as art. I think that's harmful. Because if you think of it as art, you're not going to approach it like a craftsman and you're not going to learn. A craftsman is going to approach it like you're building a piece of wooden furniture and you're doing your best, you're sanding it here, you're sawing it, cutting it perfectly, and you're showing it to potential buyers, and they're saying, it's okay, but this one leg is shorter. You need to go back and fix that. And you're like, oh, okay. I need to be very sure that all the legs are the same height. So when you go back from comedy and you get that kind of feedback, you retool your comedy. You write something different. You perform something different. And then you go back. Todd, thank you very much for that question. It takes me a minute or two to shave my head with a shear. Thank you for that extremely relevant question. So that's a craft. When you do something and you put it in front of an audience and you get feedback and then you adjust what you do. And that's how comedy works. It's the only way comedy works, because it doesn't work if it's not getting laughs, if it's not working. Art, it works whatever. Oh, face? Well, don't you have a face? Todd, don't you shave your face? How long does it take you? So, similar. So, and if you're an artist and you're, thank you, Susan. You're welcome, Todd. If you're an artist, you're going out there and you're just expressing yourself. You're expressing your creativity and you're being creative. You don't have a face or you don't shave. This is two conversations. And that's what I don't like about art. Albert Brooks had the greatest one-liner about art, performance art in particular. He said, performance art is comedy without the jokes. And he's absolutely right. If you just want to go hear somebody free associate or express themselves and try to elicit, I don't know, some kind of emotion or reaction from you, but they're not purposefully telling jokes to make you laugh, maybe there's an audience for that. There's performance art. In fact, Lizzie Cooperman is kind of a hybrid comedian performance artist. She's going to be the next guest on the How to Write Funny podcast. I'm excited about that. It's coming out in a few days. And there's an audience for that. So that's a thing. But when you're telling jokes, that's a craft. You're not doing art anymore because you're there for a specific purpose. Yeah, I agree, Hugh. It's more entertainment than art. Comedy requires laughs to succeed. If nobody's laughing, it's not, you can scarcely call it comedy. But art doesn't require any specific reaction. The artist can leave the interpretation totally open to the audience. So people get confused by that, and they get offended when I say that I don't think comedy is art, especially other comics and comedy writers. You know, I know a lot of comedy professionals who have won awards, and they're considered like the greatest in their field, and they've won awards. I mean, I've won comedy awards. Does that mean we're artists? No, we're craftsmen. We're craftsmen people. And I think of a movie like Tootsie, which I just saw again the other day. Great movie. It holds up incredibly well. It's 40 years old, but it still holds up incredibly well. Bill Murray is amazing in it. Super funny. Dustin Hoffman is great. Terry Garr, fantastic. Dabney Coleman. And these were like top people in the industry doing this. Sidney Pollack, director. Larry Gelbart, writer. These are like the top people in the profession, serious craftspeople. And they approach this movie like a craft. How can we craft this screenplay? How can we craft this story for maximum comedy potential? And when they do that, art results. So they don't approach it like this is our art and we're creating art here. They approach it like more like an entertainment business. It's like we need to produce something now that's going to create laughs. And if it succeeds in getting laughs, it succeeds as a work of comedy. So Tootsie wins a ton of Academy Awards, you know, People's Choice Awards and whatever. And so people now, they might consider it art, but it's not an art film. You would never call it an art film. It's a comedy. So that's my opinion about art. That's an interesting point, Todd, that you think it's the dialogue and the situations that are funny and the people are just the vehicles. The people and the characters are what make the situations. Like plot and character are intertwined in a movie. And in the best comedy movies, the dialogue just springs from those. If you put the right characters in the right plot, the dialogue's just going to write itself. It's going to bloom like a beautiful flower. Yeah, Terry Garr should have won an Oscar for Tootsie. I met her at the Aspen Comedy Festival. I had lunch with her, and she was such a delight. I want to get her on my podcast. She has done so many classic comedy movies like Young Frankenstein and obviously Tootsie. And she was in Close Encounters with Steven Spielberg. Like, she's somebody I want to introduce people to and get her talking about her career. Oh, thank you, Alex. Nobody wants to watch a play about chemical waste. They can see that in New Jersey. Yeah, that's a line from Tootsie. I remember that. I feel like it's Sidney Pollack's line, because Sidney Pollack, the director, played Dustin Hoffman's agent in the movie. And he did that because Dustin Hoffman's a method actor. And when they tried to cast an actor to play his agent, and the agent was telling Dustin Hoffman, hey, no one will hire you. Sorry, I can't get you any work. Dustin Hoffman wouldn't believe it because it was just another actor. He needed the director to say it because the director was really the boss man. And then he would believe it. And he knew he could sell it. And it worked. Like Sidney Pollack's an amazing actor. He's been in a bunch of other movies. He was in some Woody Allen movies. Great. All right, I'm rambling now, but I'll be back live in a week probably. And you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to go on TikTok. Because, you know, the young kids, they're all on the TikTok. It's all us old people on Facebook. I'm on YouTube now too, and I guess everybody watches YouTube. But I don't think I'm going to do this sort of stuff on TikTok. What I have to do on TikTok, I think, is watch other people's videos and then dissect why they're funny. So I'll do like stitches, is that what they're called, where I stitch to somebody's video and then just deconstruct it and why it worked. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, thank you, Todd. Thanks you for tuning in. Yeah, the organic reach on TikTok is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. Thanks, Susan, for the vote of confidence. I'll check that out and let you guys know how that goes. All right, good night, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching.